Hi guys! Today's question is, do you suck at meditation? This is something a lot of people wonder. They've tried it a few times, it doesn't seem like it's working out, so they just think it's not for them, or they suck at it. So, do you suck at it? Yes. No, I'm joking. Most people who think that meditation doesn't work for them, or they just suck at it and they kind of just want to give up, it's not that you're bad at it per se, it's that you don't understand it and your expectations are too high, generally. So a lot of people expect that meditation or hypnosis feels a very specific way. So they think that entering a trance state is kind of this instant magical thing where you just feel like you're on drugs, you're floating on a cloud, your mind instantly becomes empty. That's the idea. That's kind of the movie idea of meditation, right? Is the guru who does that and was like, whatever, and their mind is just clear. And they sit that way for an hour and they have no thoughts and it's just wonderful and they're astral projecting and they're floating on clouds. And that, it's not to say that's an impossibility. Some people are that skilled at meditation that they can kind of get to that level. Although I think even people who have meditated their whole lives still have some thoughts that come in and out because it's kind of impossible not to ever. So that, I think, is why a lot of people think they are not good at meditation or they're failing at it because they just aren't achieving that instant gratification of no thoughts and that feeling of, like, I don't know what some people expect it to feel like. But the reality is that when you enter a trance state, there's several different levels of trance, first of all, and different types of trance. So for beginners, you're generally going to enter the lightest trance state, and it doesn't really feel that different. Some people have said, like, oh, I've tried meditation or I've tried hypnosis, and I just felt kind of relaxed, or it just felt like a little sleepy. And I'm like, that's the trance. That's what it feels like. It's not this huge, crazy thing that you feel like you're necessarily floating on a cloud. You can get there when you are more practiced at it and you're deeper trance. But light trances are still really effective and really good, and they just feel slightly relaxed. So that's the first thing I want you to know and set your expectations for when you're trying to meditate or enter any sort of trance state. Is it just in the beginning will be very light and you'll just feel kind of relaxed, and that's it. That's it. It's not some crazy magic thing, you know? And then the other major thing that stops people from continuing with meditation and makes them think they're failing at it is that they're not able to quiet their mind. And I don't know if that's a problem for you, but it is a problem for most people when they're trying to meditate. Now, there's all different types of people. There are people who are very hyperactive, and there are people who are very down low and kind of calmer energy. So it will be harder for someone who, say, suffers from ADD to quiet their thoughts than someone who doesn't have it. But it's not impossible, and everyone struggles with their thoughts going crazy. And another interesting thing about meditation is that once you get a little practice at it and achieve even a moment of silence for the first time, at least for me, the first time I did it and achieved that, it was like I didn't even realize the noise that was going on in my head. I didn't realize how many crazy thoughts were kind of shooting around in there until I achieved that silence. So I think it is something so worth practicing and getting better at. So what do you do when you're meditating and you can't silence your thoughts? It's really like a simple thing, and it's going to sound silly. You just accept it. So you're thinking something. Like, I was meditating earlier today and I was thinking, just, it always, my to-do list kind of pops up when I'm meditating of like, oh, I forgot I want to do this, or I want to do this, or I want to write about this, or I want to do a hypnosis video about this. And maybe I'll have like 2 minutes where I'm thinking that, and I'm fully like, okay, yeah, I gotta do that, and I gotta do that, and then I'll go, oh, I'm supposed to be meditating. And I just accept like, okay, I had that thought, it's fine, let it float by. And then I'm sure you'll probably have another thought that comes right in the place of that, and you just accept that and let it float by. And it may take, you can sit there for a half hour, and maybe on your first time you won't be able to stop those thoughts at all, but you'll still be in a light trance, and you'll still gain some relaxation, and you'll still have gained some stillness. So even if you never get that quietness in your first few ones, you're still achieving something that's important for your well-being. And then eventually, maybe on your 4th time, maybe on your 5th time, if you're lucky, on your first time, while you're sitting there, just try to do it for, if any amount of time you do meditation, it's good. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, it's good. But if you have the time and you're really trying to practice and get better at it and achieve that silence, then trying to do it for a longer amount of time, like a half hour or more, is better, because you can allow the thoughts to come and go, to come and go, and eventually you'll find a spot, and it may only, and it's usually only, even for the people who have practiced at it, it's usually only for a handful of seconds that you're able to really fully achieve that true silence where you're not thinking anything. And it's amazing, and that does feel really cool, but don't worry if you don't get there right away. You don't suck at meditation. You just need to lower your expectations and then practice, practice, practice. So a little trick before I leave you on a way to kind of try and achieve that silence, something that I do when I go into trance state to meditate or to do self-hypnosis. So I'll close my eyes, but then I'll roll my eyeballs upward as if I'm looking into the center of my forehead. And when you do that, or even if you close your eyes and you don't roll your eyeballs forward, when you do that, you'll notice, even with your eyes closed, you never just see black. There's always like a play of colors, a play of light. And the Hawaiian practice says that if you roll your eyeballs and see that light, that's actually the God light and the universe light. And doing that is actually scientifically proven to help you enter trance state quicker. So that's part of my tip, is to kind of roll your eyes up and look at the colors. And I'll sit there with my eyes closed, just looking at the play of light. And you'll notice like the light will come here and it'll kind of come in and out. And eventually I'll find a spot that's almost like a circle, like an opposite black hole, where it's just like there's blackness around it, but there's this light kind of pulling out. And I'll focus on that, and it'll kind of come and go, almost like a flower blooming. And for me, that's my trick of, I'll let the thoughts come and go and just keep focusing on that light, and eventually watching that light. That's when I get those few moments of silence, and it's a little bit magical for me. So that's my tip for you. You don't suck at it. Anybody is capable of it. Some it comes easier, some it doesn't, especially if you struggle with mental illness that causes your mind to be even more hyperactive. But you can still get there. And even if you don't get there, even if you don't get that silence, the relaxation is still very good for you. That moment of trying to calm and let your muscles relax is still very good for you, and you will get there eventually, I promise you. So just take the pressure off. That's all. So if you have any questions, or you want to practice that little trick I told you and let me know how it worked for you, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos about hypnosis, meditation, and other fun subjects. Bye.